So, Miss Christy,
Yes.
This is your fifth little one, yes?
Yes.
Okay. And you'd had natural births with all of them?
Natural in the sense of vaginally.
Vaginally.
Yes.
Had you done it without pain medication?
Yes.
Okay. All of them or some of them or?
3 of them.
3 of them.
Mm-hmm.
So, you found out about, I think, birthing better now, but the pink kit, right?
I found out about the pink kit while I was pregnant with this little one.
And so what differences, I know you had a home birth, yes. So what differences did you notice? You were already an experienced mom.
Right. And then I already had natural birth.
Yeah, so what differences?
The difference that I noticed, it was actually a huge difference. The first difference was even before I even went into labor. It was actually months before when I was introduced to the kit, and I watched the videos and I read the literature. That was huge because it became a game changer. Have I had babies before? Yes. And I know what it felt like? Yes. But I didn't know my body like I thought I did. It goes beyond birthing better. Goes beyond your normal biology course because there's so much focus on the woman's body. It does talk about the male body as well and the difference between them, which helps the male support person. But I got to know me, and I got to touch me, my bones, and how I was situated, and that was such a game changer because it's like, oh, I didn't know certain things about my own body. I knew I had butt bones, but I didn't know how they sat. I didn't know that your sit bones may sit different than mine. They may be a little bit spread out more, or they may be close together. They may be shifted. They may shift differently. So to find that out, I found out how to birth better, I guess, because I was able to, when I felt things move during labor, it didn't frighten me because I had already moved them myself. I did the external work. I did the internal work. It didn't frighten me to feel my baby coming down because I was able to do my own cervical checks whenever I wanted to. And at the end, I no longer could reach my cervix because it was too far and my belly was too big. And plus, at that time, everything gets so soft. It's like, unless your arm is long enough and it's outside of your body, it's very hard to detect unless you're like doing a split almost. But I was able to feel when my baby was coming down, and I closed my eyes because every time I talk about it, I can feel it all over again. That's how it felt. It felt like I was in me and I was watching me from the inside out. And I was like, I know exactly where my baby is.
Nice.
I know exactly where my baby is, and I'm okay. I'm having contractions. My baby is not ready. It's not all the way. My baby is not all the way down into the birth canal just yet. Is the baby in the birth canal? Yes, because I was having very good contractions and I was having a speedy labor. It didn't take me too long to go into transition, which can be scary for a lot of women because a lot of times labor can be long sometimes, and I've had long labors before. But since I went into transition so quickly and I felt that, it didn't frighten me. I just went with it. I was able to do that because I knew my body. I knew what was going on at that time. Not just by words that you read in a book, but because I felt it. I was able to touch right where she was at that time, months before. The muscles that were being moved and the flesh that was being touched and rubbed sometimes felt vigorously. It didn't frighten me. I learned to relax. When my husband would come over to touch me on my shoulders or on my back, I just knew to let go.
Nice.
Why? He didn't have time to go over the pink kit, but it doesn't matter because I told him what I needed. Then at the time he works a lot, so it was like, babe, this is what I need, you know, during this birth, if I tell you, babe, if I can't talk and I touch my back, I need you to get over there and just lay your hands on me. And that's what he did. I was having some back labor, and a lot of women struggle with that, and I can't say that you don't. Everyone processes pain differently. But because of birthing better, I knew that all I needed to do was to let go, give in, and let it happen. And that's exactly what I did. Once I felt my baby at the bottom of my cervix, spread open. It's hard to think about how my baby was not actually crowning yet. It was crowning out of my cervix. I can't explain how that feels, but because I felt my cervix close and I felt it a little open, I know what it felt like, wide open. I said, she's coming now. I knew that at that point, she was going to be coming now, which is when I said, this next contraction, I may have to push, because it was like a sliding board. She was just kind of like, once I felt her crown in my cervix, I don't even know if they use that term, crown in the cervix. Right. That's what it felt like to me. It felt like a second crowning when she actually reached my vagina and my vaginal walls, and you know what they consider crowning, you know, from the outside. I felt like I crowned twice, which was amazing. So because the first crowning doesn't hurt. The first crowning, you don't burn. The first crowning is the lotus flower from the inside. The second crowning is the lotus flower on the outside. Okay? That's the only way that I can, and that's what I visualized. So birthing better has really helped me through this birth to birth better. And since our midwife couldn't make it on time, or didn't make it on time because it was such a fast transition and fast birth, I actually birthed this baby on my own for the second time, actually. That's what it made it. But for the second time, and the first time the first time it happened, he's 2 now, and he was birthed in a van, in our family van. It was one of the best births that I had, and I didn't think that it could get better than that until I had her, because I knew my body so much better. And when certain things happened, I didn't freak out. I knew that I got this. You know, I knew that I could do it, and my husband didn't doubt me for 1 second. So that helped too, because I knew my body. I didn't feel like I needed help necessarily. Of course, it's always nice for different people, you know, different strokes, different folks, but I wanted someone there just in case of an emergency, a midwife.
And you are a doula, so.
I am a doula, so it does help it. So it does help. Does help that I know what to do anyway, but at the same time, even because I am a doula, I was not a doula at that moment. Right. And sometimes I say I doula'd myself because I told myself to breathe in and breathe out. I remind myself to stay calm, but you don't have to be a doula to do that.
That's right.
You just have to be a woman that knows her body and is not afraid of birth, and know that you're strong enough to do it. You're strong enough to do this birthing thing. So I
love that.
Yeah, the birthing better gave me a lot of insight, actually better insight to who I was. It was a game changer for birth, and if it wasn't my last baby, then I would probably have more, because it was so empowering. I mean, the last birth that I had before her was in the van, of course, and I pushed fast. It was like, I gotta hurry up and get this done. But with birthing better, the techniques that I learned, I didn't want to hurry it up. Like, as weird as it sounds, and the pressure that comes along, and I wouldn't even call it pain for me, the pressure and the intensity that comes along with labor and birthing the baby, I did not want to hurry it up. I was intentionally, because if I hurried it up, I wouldn't feel exactly what was going on. I wanted to feel everything open. I wanted to feel everything move. And that left me with no tears.
Awesome.
I think the internal work also helped with the process of no tearing. And not necessarily because it opened me up, or necessarily, I believe it relaxed my muscles mentally. Because I knew that they're supposed to move. I knew they were supposed to be touched in a certain way. I knew they were supposed to be stretched out. I knew they were supposed to be rubbed up against. So I didn't tighten. I relaxed, you know. So yeah, it was birthing better did help me birth better.
Thank you, Christy.
You're welcome.